Welcome back, boys and girls. This is Cambridge IGCSE Chemistry paper with the code 062042 from October-November 2021 series. We discussed first 5 questions in our previous videos, and right now we are jumping into question 6 of the same paper. Okay, so this is question 6. You can see in this question 6 it says that ethanol belongs to the homologous series called alcohols. Write the general formula for alcohols, and we know that general formula for the alcohol is CnH2n plus 2O, or we can also write it as CnH2n plus 1 OH. Both are correct. Whatever is easier for you to memorize, to remember, you can write. Both are correct. Explain why ethanol cannot be described as hydrocarbon. Why? Because we know that hydrocarbons are the compounds that contains carbon and hydrogen only. But you can see from the general formula there is another element other than carbon and hydrogen. So we can say as it has, or it contains other than carbon and hydrogen. Element, or element other than carbon and hydrogen in any way. Then he says in C part, ethanol can be manufactured from different substances by reaction with steam or by fermentation. Give the formula of a substance which react with steam to form ethanol. Very simple. Hopefully you memorized and you learned that we are going to hydrolyze, okay, the hydrolysis or hydration of the ethene. When we hydrolyzed ethene in presence of the steam with some special conditions, we can produce ethanol. This is called as hydration. Then he says name a substance which will undergo, or sorry, here he says write the formula. So my answer is correct, but I'm not following the format, so I will not get the marks. So you have to follow the format, you have to follow the instructions. So we are going to write the formula of ethene, which is C2H4. Okay, so we are not going to write the name, we are going to write the formula. But here it is demanding name a substance which will undergo fermentation to form ethanol, so it is glucose. Okay, so fermentation of glucose produces ethanol. Then he says ethanol is a fuel. Write a chemical equation for the complete combustion of ethanol. So formula of the ethanol, you can get it from above, or maybe you remember it is C2H5OH, or by using the general formula, which is CnH2n plus 1OH, you can get it. How? Because we have eth mean 2 carbon atoms, so if I replace the value of n by 2, it will be Cn, then 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5, and OH. So you can easily get the formula of ethanol. For combustion, we require oxygen. When it burns in presence of oxygen, it always produces carbon dioxide and water. To make it balance, you see we have 2 carbon atoms here, so I'm going to place 2 with the carbon dioxide. Now carbon is balanced. And to balance the hydrogen, we have 5 plus 1, 6. So I'm going to place 3 over here. Now hydrogen is balanced. So 2 2s are 4 and 3. So we have total 7 oxygen atoms in the left side. Okay. To make oxygen balance, I'm going to place 3 over here. Because 3 2s are 6 and 1 from the ethanol, so total oxygen atoms becomes 7 and balanced. Okay, so it's balanced now. Moving in this question in this format, in this part, it says ethane 1,2-diol. A molecule which contains two alcohol group is called as diol. Okay, so one molecule of ethane 1,2-diol will react with two molecules of ethanoic acid to form a molecule X. And we know that whenever the alcohol react with carboxylic acids, they produce ester. So it means ester is going to be produced. Then he says X has two ester functional groups and a molecular formula. This is state the empirical formula of X. The definition of empirical formula is the simplified form of a molecular formula. So if we take 2 as common, what we have? We will have C3, then H5 and O2. So by taking 2 common, we will get this format. So this will be the empirical formula and we can't further simplify it. So this is the simplified form of this X. So we'll call it as empirical formula of X. Next, draw the structure of X. Show all of the atoms and all of the bonds. For this, remember that what we learn here, I'm going to repeat, whenever you are going to react the ethanoic acid or any carboxylic acid with alcohol to make ester, always remove what? The H from the alcohol. Always remove H from the alcohol. And I'm here taking carboxylic acid, which is ethanoic acid. So this is ethanoic acid, and we learned that from ethanoic or from any carboxylic acid you have to remove OH. Okay, here I'm going to take again, as it says that, with the two molecules of ethanoic acid. So this is ethanoic acid. Understood? Now what we have to do, we have to repeat it that the OH will remove from the acid. So you can see H and OH will combine to produce water. Here also H and OH combine to produce water and removed. And rest of the part will combine with each other. So when they combine with each other to produce an ester bond, so the molecule will look like this. So this was the central part of the diol. Here O and O, and it is combined with the other part of the acid by just removing the OH from the acid. So when you remove from the acid OH and then combine it with the alcoholic part, then you have to repeat, you will get here. So this is called as what? The structure or the ester S that contains two ester bonds. So it says show all the atoms and the bonds. So this will be the displayed formula, or we can say structure of the molecule or the compound X. Furthermore, he says that name the other substance formed in this reaction. As we discussed, when H from the alcohol and OH from the carboxylic acid are removed, they will combine to produce water. So what other substance produced? Water. Next, he says each alcohol functional group in ethane 1,2-diol react with different potassium manganate to form different organic compound Y. Name the functional group formed in Y. So remember that whenever alcohol reacted with potassium manganate, oxidation reaction takes place, and whenever any alcohol get oxidized, it will produce carboxylic acid. So the functional group will be carboxylic acid. Then he says draw the structure of Y. As to both sides we have OH, so both of the OH will combine, or sorry, will oxidize to give us what? C double bond O bond OH. Here that also changes into C double bond O bond OH. So it will give us dioic acid. Understood? So you have to. Now your paper is complete. So you may go to the previous videos if you missed all those. So watch those videos properly to understand. If you have any question, any query, you can contact me and ask me, or you can contact me during class. Okay, take care of yourself. Till then, Allah Hafiz.